It's all over the news today, pretty much everywhere you look, that Wikileaks has released Vault 7.
Wikileaks publishing what it claims are documents from the CIA, apparently the largest intelligence publication in history.
These documents show, if in fact they are authentic, are some of the more intimate details of the CIA's cyber espionage effort. It talks about the agency's global covert hacking program. Wikileaks says included malware and the ability to hack into several smartphones, even smart TVs. It went on to say that a source that provided these documents was concerned of the CIA's hacking capabilities, and it exceeded its mandated powers and perhaps exceeded public oversight.
Just a litany of hacking tools that the CIA uses to basically get into any kind of technology that's hooked to the internet in any way. So if the Snowden leaks let you know that all of your emails are being sucked up, all the data on your cell phone calls and everything like that is being sucked up, well, now this takes it one step up from that. Conspiracies, like people talking about how you have to cover your camera and your microphone jack because they might be listening, well, that's all been 100% confirmed now. They have this whole thing called Year Zero, which is thousands of documents that are essentially confirming the fact that the CIA is running a global covert hacking program with all kinds of malware and viruses and weaponized exploits that can get into a large number of products, iPhones and Android phones and Microsoft Windows and television sets. And they can turn all of these things into covert microphones and they can listen in on you. It's just, it's so creepy that this is the level that we're at. They're letting everybody know this. You even had misleading headlines like this one in Forbes where they're saying things like WikiLeaks documents show CIA can hack iOS and Android but not encrypted messaging apps. No, see, they don't have to hack the encrypted messaging apps because what they're actually doing is they're collecting the audio and message traffic before it even gets to the point that encryption is applied. It doesn't even matter if the app is encrypted or not because they're sucking up the data and the information before it even goes through that process, you see. And creepier still, you have the fact that one of these things, they even named it after a monster in a Doctor Who episode, because we know from Snowden leaks that the CIA is working with MI5 and developing these things. They decided to name this one Weeping Angel after these angel statues that are kind of like the topiary animals in The Shining. When you're looking at them, they don't move, but as soon as you turn around, they attack you. And they called them the Weeping Angels. And that's what the CIA and MI5 are calling this program they have. It's a tool that they can use to put your television set into a fake off mode. So you think you've turned your TV off, but actually it just looks like it's off. It's really on, and the microphone is engaged. So they can listen to anyone or anything that's happening anywhere near that television set while it's off. Anything in earshot, basically. And the same goes true for your phones and pretty much anything you have that has cameras, microphones, and is hooked to the internet. So that is the level, that's the level that we're at. And I know that we made a video back when the Snowden leaks first hit.
Good evening. I know many of you were shocked when NSA contractor turned whistleblower Edward Snowden revealed to America that in fact the National Security Agency had been spying on Americans and chewing up their data like Pac-Man from a 1980s video game.
About how it really wasn't that much of a shock. All the headlines at the time when Snowden came out, it was huge, it was all over the news, and they just kept saying it was a shock, it's shocking, how shocking it is. But for a lot of people, it really wasn't all that shocking. They didn't tell us anything that we didn't already know. They confirmed it. They confirmed the spying, the widespread data suction vacuum that's sucking off all of our data 24 hours a day and analyzing it and stuff like that. But they didn't really go above and beyond that. And back at that time, people like Webster Tarpley came out and said, you know, Snowden's actually a limited hangout. The whole point of it is to get you accustomed to this stuff. And a lot of good points have been brought up since then. It's just nobody really wants to look at that. But if you start to really look at Snowden and some of the things that were said after his stuff came out, there's reasons to be suspicious about it. You know, there's reasons that Tarpley has a good point. Things like the fact that Snowden's early statement, as reported by Glenn Greenwald, that Snowden carefully evaluated every single document to ensure that each was legitimately in the public interest. Well, now he's saying he's got 2 million documents and he only worked there for a couple of months. I mean, do you know how long it would take you to read through 2 million documents?
You're going through your email, they're watching your videos, probably even know what you had for breakfast this morning. Luckily, there is a silver lining. While the NSA knows all this stuff about all of us and they're mining all of our data, there is one place they can't find you, and that's a hotel room in Hong Kong. Because everybody knows that only British newspapers can find people who hide out in hotels in China.
I mean, if you think about stuff like that and you just really start to look at it, it just doesn't pass the sniff test. But what it does do when Snowden comes out and confirms all these things that a lot of people already knew, it starts to invoke a learned helplessness. It gets you used to the idea, it confirms that that's what's going on, and then you start to accept it. You get accustomed to that, and you grow to accept it.
On metadata collection, Ted Cruz is glad that the NSA got out of it. Marco Rubio wants it back. What's Donald Trump think?
I err on the side of security. I think that, some people like that, some people don't like it. But I think, and I'm not just saying that, since Paris, I'm saying for quite some time. I assume when I pick up my telephone, people are listening to my conversations anyway.
And then they can just start ratcheting up from there because you accept, people got really mad and there was a huge backlash, but now there's Snowden leaks coming out all the time still. They're trickling that information out slowly over time, and people have just grown numb to it. I don't even think people pay attention anymore when a new Snowden leak comes out. It's just kind of like, oh, another Snowden leak, whatever. People are over it. They just don't even, they've accepted it. We've accepted that that is what is going on. And I think that's the same thing with this Vault 7. In fact, if you look down at the bottom of the Wikileaks page, there's all this information here, but I thought this was kind of interesting. They even got something called the Hive. They got frequently asked questions, and it says, isn't WikiLeaks worried that the CIA will act against its staff to stop the series? And it says, no, that would be certainly counterproductive. Counterproductive to who? Okay? Because if the point of putting this information out there is to get you used to the fact, used to the idea that all of your devices, everything that you own that's connected to the internet can be used through government backdoors to spy on you and yours, you accept the fact that you don't even have privacy in your own living room if you're talking anywhere near your television set because government spooks or AI programs that are doing voice recognition and keyword searches might be listening in on you. If you get used to that and you accept it, then who's to say in the next 20 years you won't then also accept just straight up telescreens in your house like we're all living in 1984 and it's Big Brother. Isn't it insane? Let's just all stop for a moment and just recognize that we live in a world where the government has direct access to your private home. Talk about the Fourth Amendment not existing anymore. If they can turn on a switch and suddenly they're having a cup of tea in your living room with you and your kids and stuff. That's what's up. That's the level we're at with this Internet of Things, which is why Petraeus came out and said it was going to be so great. This is why, because they can remotely access all this stuff. And now they're confirming it so that you will get used to it, so we will grow accustomed to it, so that in 20 years when the telescreens come in, that'll just be the way it is, At this point now, we're being told that the government is just going to listen in on everything you do, and that's just the way it's going to be, and it's pretty insane. Either recognize that your privacy is gone and just accept that, or you could do something about it. You could start unplugging these things. Right? A good thing to do is you connect a pair of earbuds that include a microphone into your audio jack, but you snip the earbud with the microphone on it just below where the mic is, and then just leave that plugged in, which will automatically switch your computer over to the external mic, but it won't be able to receive any audio. Sounds like it would work to me, I don't know. As far as the TV is concerned, I don't know, we have television sets in our home. I tried to buy ones that don't have Wi-Fi, but we also unplug all that stuff. Maybe that's just paranoid. I used to think so, but now when stuff like this comes out, I don't think so at all. I think it was just right all along, and this is exactly what's up. But the point is that it's really sad that we live in a world where we're all over here destroying earphones so that we can find a way to protect our microphone from being remotely accessed by the government. That's the real point. I think really they're just engineering everyone to live in a society that is a total information awareness society where you don't have privacy, where there is no privacy, where the concept of privacy is just, it's a bygone era. It doesn't exist anymore. And the more that everyone accepts these things and just learns that that's just the way it is, then the more they can continue to ratchet this up.